Our agricultural brilliance is based on biodiversity. In 1905, the British sent, there was no agricultural science at that time. The science of that time was called economic botany. And they sent Albert Howard to India to introduce practices of the West, chemicals, mechanization. So he arrived in Pusa. That's why this Pusa Institute is called Pusa, because the original Pusa Institute was in Pusa, Bihar. And Howard arrives and says, I saw the soils were fertile, I found no pests in the field, and I could do no better than turn the peasant and the pest into my professors. He spent the next 25 years studying. He then wrote a book called The Agricultural Testament, which is called the Bible of Modern Organic Farming. And he was humble enough to recognize that he learned it from biodiversity in India and the peasants in India. And he says what's distinctive about systems of production in the Orient, that's the language they used to use that time, and Western systems is the Orient uses diversity. He says they're mixtures and they're rotations. Now, no farming system in India before the Green Revolution grew a monoculture. If you had a cereal, you always had a pulse. You always had an oilseed. You had greens. And these systems are what kept Indians' livelihoods as well as India's food and nutrition security. The Green Revolution was the first time we started to implement the monoculture thinking. And everyone has talked about Punjab having been a leap in food security. It's a leap in increase in production of rice and wheat. But the rice and wheat grew at the cost of other crops. It grew at the cost of forests and pastures. Let me just give you a few things. Now, we are in the Punjab, Haryana, Delhi Chamber of Commerce, originally Punjab. What was Punjab's regional dish? Makki ki roti, sarson ka saag. Aaj makki bhi nahi hai, sarson bhi nahi hai. It's rice and wheat and rice and wheat, and in a little corner around Bathinda, BT cotton. So rice has jumped from 4% to 35% in 2010, 2011, beginning in the 60s. Wheat has jumped from 29 to 44. What are called coarse grains, and we call them forgotten foods. I think it's so wrong to have called them coarse grains, because these are the nutritious crops that kept us strong. The mandua from our area, the jangora, the jwari, the bajra, the millets, they give you 40 times more nutrition and use 10 times less water. And yet we banish them by calling them primitive grains and coarse grains. Anyway, they dropped from 11% to 2%. Sugarcane, you talked about the sugar industry. Sugarcane has dropped from 2% to 0.8%. Pulses from 19% to 0.2%. Oilseeds from 3% to 0.7%. But we never count what disappeared. So today everyone says, oh, we moved from a ship-to-mouth existence. No one tells you that 70% of our pulses and 70% of our oilseeds are being imported. And they are not real pulses, nor are they real oils, edible oils. No one cooked or ate palm oil. Soya oil has been nobody's food. The people who really use soya are the Japanese and Chinese. Show me if they use soya oil. It was only possible after the war and the solvent extraction plants came, and then there was a bumper. And I remember the soya industry saying India is going to be the El Dorado for soya, because we can push it as pulse and we can push it as oil. I won't go into the details of the subsidy question and how soya oil becomes cheaper in India than mustard. But in 98, mustard oil was banned, edible oils were banned. You might remember the big scare on dropsy. And the women of the slums said, "Hamara sarson wapis lao, hamare bacche kha nahi pa rahe khana." So I led a sarson satyagrah and gave the first bottle to Sahib Singh. I said, come and join in the satyagrah with us. So today Navdanya is still selling virgin mustard oil, virgin linseed oil, virgin sesame oil. Because these are the oils that are healthy, these are the oils that are tasty. In terms of pulses, we have so much diversity. In Navdanya, we've saved 70 or more varieties of rajma. And dals like the gehet, dals like the naurangi that had just disappeared from our diets, we brought them back and they're so much more nutritious. They're so much tastier. You might remember in 2008 when the price of food shot up because speculation moved from the subprime crisis of the United States to land in food. And every hedge fund investing in food commodities could get returns of 25%. And at that time, you might recall that a tur dal, looking dal, was introduced in the PDS shops. One was called yellow pea dal. Now, you're either a pea or you're a dal. Yeah? But this yellow pea dal is a very mysterious thing because it doesn't taste like a dal, it doesn't taste like a pea. And then they went further. They went further to import an I dal. Literally, it was called I dal. We have it sitting in our office. And I think it was because they said, सब iPhone ले रहे हैं, सिद्धार्थ iPad ले रहे हैं, सब कोई आया ले रहा है, Apple इतना पॉपुलर हो गया, हम दाल पे छप्पा लगाते हैं आए दाल, सब खाएंगे. 25 रुपए की थी, tur was selling at 150, nobody bought it. And when they asked the women, why aren't you buying it? They said, दाल हो तो खरीदे ना, 25 रुपए ऐसे क्यों बर्बाद करें?